Hello, and welcome to our class for today. We are going to make farro. So that is this wonderful grain right here. We're going to make a recipe from my book, Good Enough. It's called October Farro, and it involves sweet potato and red onion and a little goat cheese on top and spinach, and it's really nice. So before we get started on that, we're going to do our usual deep breaths, and we're going to do a Samavriti breath. This is an equal breath. So we're going to try to keep the inhale and the exhale the same length, and that can be whatever amount you like. I'm going to count us to 5 because that is sort of what works for me right now, but do whatever works for you. Even if counting doesn't really work for you, if you just have a sense of keeping it equal, that's great. And the other thing with this breath that we want to do is we want to kind of just make like a hissing sound where you're really bringing the air into your body slowly through your throat and then sort of making a hissing sound. Pausing and then releasing in the same slow way. And it's sort of more work than a regular breath in the sense that you really have to think about it, but it's very soothing to sort of feel the air and feel your full inhale of your lungs. Really, really lovely breath. So let's do 3 Samavriti equal breaths together. I'm going to count us in to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause at the peak. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just feel your feet on the ground or on the seat or wherever you are right now. Feel yourself planted. And let's do one more together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause and exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So great. Should really do just some breathing every time we start a new task. I think I really need to start doing that every time I switch tasks from while I'm on my computer. I feel like it would make such a difference to sort of begin something with this intention of really being here. And so with that in mind, let's also just set an intention of what we want for this beautiful cooking practice we're experiencing together. And I'll let you think about what you want to set for yourself. But for me, I'm going to set the intention to just be right here with whatever is, and have the courage to share that with you. Okay, let's get started on our October farro because this takes a little while to cook. This is so you can get farro in a bunch of different forms, but it's not always clear from the packaging. Basically, it's pearled or unpearled. It has all these names that basically mean more processed or not. And the more processed kind takes about 10 minutes to cook, and the less processed kind takes about a half an hour, and I have the most unprocessed kind here. So this is going to take about a half an hour. So we're going to add this to this pot and then 2 cups of water. So it's quite similar to like a rice cooking process. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt because we want it to be seasoned. just season. We're going to add a bunch of other yummy flavors to it later. So just salted is good. And then I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to it as well. I have the quantities in the recipe, but I usually just eyeball it. Okay. I think I need a lid. I'm going to have to search for that quickly. Oh, here it is. I'm just going to put it on high to bring it to a boil with the lid so it goes as quickly as possible. And then we'll turn it down and leave it for about 25-30 minutes. And in the meantime, so I'm still on jury duty. And yeah, I'm feeling a lot of, maybe you wouldn't know to look at me, but a fair bit of tension and frustration with how much time I'm spending on this. And there's always this sense of like, I should be spending my time on something else, but I can't because I have this jury duty and there's a lot of time spent there, but then also we keep being released early, which is making me feel like, oh my gosh, I should get the most out of this day and do a bunch of other things. But then I don't have things lined up. And so it's making me feel a little out of control, basically. Like I don't have, I can't quite do what I need to do, which is really kind of frustrating and also just kind of an illusion because it's not so bad to do jury duty, really, for me. I'm able to do it. I have the time and the space to do it. And it's an important process in our world. Someone needs to do it. And it's good that I'm able to. And I'm meeting nice people there, actually. And there's a lot about it that's very sweet, but I'm noticing myself getting really frustrated. And so just want to note that and accept that, I guess, about myself. Sometimes it's like those things, we don't choose the emotions we feel about situations. I think a lot of us want to be like, I always want to be like, oh, sure, that doesn't bother me. You know, I can handle it. But sometimes the truth is it does bother me. And rather than, I used to always just sort of deny that and be like, well, even though that bothers me, I don't want anyone to know. So I'm just going to pretend it's not really happening. But it doesn't really work that way. I still have to feel it somehow. So I think my practice is always to just accept however I feel, even if it's embarrassing that I'm really mad about something or sad about something or jealous or whatever the thing is that I'm sort of ashamed to be feeling. And I just accept it about myself. And that is usually what actually allows it to pass, which is nice. I'm going to peel the sweet potato also very, very slowly, apparently, while I think about these feelings that I'm having. I don't know what kinds of feelings you guys tend to have when you're making supper. If you ever want to share any of that in the comments, let me know. And I'd be so happy to sort of address it one of these times. Because I'm sure we all feel so many things the same way. I'm enjoying the sound of this peeling. The sort of slice, but then also the little click of the peeler. I think I've mentioned this before, but there is something so kind of beautiful about carefully doing mundane tasks. There's a reason why monks tend to have these practices of doing these mundane tasks. Ooh, we have it boiling. I'm going to set the timer to 25 minutes. And I've just turned it down to kind of a medium low. Like almost every grain kind of needs a gentle simmer so you're not bashing it around. Oh my goodness. Yes, I am feeling just kind of like tender and sad tonight, to be honest. That is there. And it's soothing to just quietly do this and share it with you all. I don't know if you ever feel that. I often talk about the feeling of being rushed, the sort of anxiety I think that we carry with us when we're stressed. That feels like a more common experience in our culture and sort of around dinner time, around these moments when we're in a hurry. But sometimes I just feel a little sad about who knows what. Something that happened, some dissatisfaction with life as it is, some need to be with others or be loved or be held. And I think, again, as I am working on soothing myself right now, through those sorts of feelings, like a feeling of loneliness, I feel like the only way to not feel lonely is to be with someone else. I think so often the feeling of loneliness, at least in my experience, comes from within, from feeling disconnected actually from myself. And so the only real way to sort of soothe that lonely feeling is actually to reconnect with the self and sometimes to feel maybe some tender, difficult feeling that's there, like sadness. Really not easy. Yeah. Making beautiful little cubes of orange. Okay. And we're going to start with these, and then I'm still going to cut a couple more things, but we're just going to get them going over here in the pan. I'm going to heat this up and add some butter. We could use olive oil, of course. In fact, actually, I think I am going to use olive oil right now because I am currently not eating a lot of dairy for my own experiment on myself. And so I'm going to just stay away from that, but please do add butter if you'd like to. I really do. I have certainly historically really loved cooking with butter. It makes it lovely, toasty flavor. Wonderful. I'm just going to add that. I'm Just add a little bit of salt. And a spoon. And just kind of spread out the pieces of sweet potatoes so that they are touching the pan. They can have a hope of getting cooked. All right, next up, onion. Red onion. Slice it in half. I love the sounds of the peeling. Ooh. Of course, we have the pungency of the onion. I'm just going to cut off the ends here. Not the part with the root, because we like that part. That helps keep everything together. Oh, I notice I keep holding my breath. I am feeling some stuff today. It doesn't really matter what. I mean, sometimes it's nice, right? Like it's so nice to be able to talk to a friend or somebody and to figure out what you're feeling. But sometimes it's just like human to just like feel sad sometimes. About nothing in particular. And I think sometimes I know I'm definitely one to get all wrapped up in like, well, what is it? What could be going on with me? I need to figure this out. But really, I think what's much more effective for me is just to allow myself to just welcome the feeling and just let it be there. And it will tell me what it needs. And I think right now it's just needing some sort of soothing and attention, me being present with it. And then it'll pass. And then it's usually, actually then, afterwards, after it's passed, it's like usually that's when I'll be like, oh, I was sad about that thing that happened 3 days ago because it was really disappointing or whatever it is. Or, oh, I'm wishing that thing would happen faster, or that life was just different than it was, or I'm wishing I lived, closer to my family and that it was easier to see them more frequently, or whatever thing is. Sometimes it tells us after, or sometimes it's just like, okay, I felt that and now it's gone and time to move on to whatever is happening next in life. Other little cubes of onion. I'm experiencing the pungency of the onion, almost to crying zone. the wetness on my fingers and the smell. And of course, we have some major sizzling happening back there. I'm going to add this in a little bit once the sweet potatoes are partially cooked. Because otherwise we will have way too overcooked of onion. You know, we don't want that. Or maybe you do. Maybe you'd want it like really dark and caramelized. In which case, add it in with it and see what happens. Go for it. Grabbing some scissors, I have a thing of frozen 16-ounce, 1 pound frozen spinach. I really like frozen spinach for this. Of course, use fresh if that's your preference. I think frozen spinach is a wonderful product because it's sort of, spinach cooks down so much. So like a whole pound of already like semi-cooked frozen spinach is like, wow, good value. And keeps really well. It always tastes fresh, tastes delicious. I'm a fan. And so I have this goat cheese out for the end. I am actually not going to use it today because, like I said, I'm staying away from dairy at the moment. But I just wanted to have that out for your reference, that this is really nice sort of at the end. Instead, I'm going to do juice and lemon zest just to have like a little bit more tang at the end, which is really nice. But this also adds like creaminess. It's really good. It's just not what I'm feeling at the moment. So I'm going to stick with not putting that in for today. But this is really simple. And as you can see, this is this concept of basically farro and some vegetables, right? Just like you would do rice and vegetables or quinoa and vegetables or pasta tossed with some vegetables in a pan. But we're just doing farro today. So this could be anything, you know, this lovely combination of sweet potato, red onion, and spinach is so sort of nice for this autumn time of year, but it could be anything. So just get excited. Even at this time of year, there's so many other combinations. You know, we could do like Brussels sprouts again, like we did last week, or butternut squash, like we've been also doing, like all of these lovely things. They would all go great in this dish. We're getting some brown. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit so that we don't get too dark on the outside before it's fully cooked through. And then further thinking about flavor, you know, I keep this very simple. It's really flavored with lemon, with onion, with the flavors of the vegetables themselves. But I have a whole counter full and actually an entire drawer ridiculously full of spices. And so if you want, with something like this, if you're longing for sort of more flavor, more interest, there are so many spices that you can begin to sort of enjoy in this. You could add sesame seeds, toast them up. You could add nuts. You know, I've been actually, seems that one of my neighbors is getting a delivery. Isn't that a nice sound? I'm going to actually pop off camera and just make sure. Hello? Well, there's a delivery. Sometimes you get delivery during dinner, right? What was I saying? I was just mentioning that there's a million different ways that this could look. I'm just looking over at this really cool little tin of yuzu and salt. It's like a little yuzu pickle sort of thing, and it's so amazing. And I've been putting it in all kinds of things. I could throw some in here if I felt like it. And I think sort of as we go on with these classes, I'd love to sort of play with these things and share more spice combinations, but it's also just so lovely to keep things simple. So I'm thinking that it's time to add our onion and our spinach. Bring this over here. Just want to smells so good. Add the spinach as well. A bunch. And so because the spinach is frozen, it slows the cooking process down a little bit here. We're adding all this ice, all this water into it. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Actually, because I'm not going to be adding the goat cheese in, which would add some salt and tang, I'm going to just do a little more. I think the recipe probably calls for. It's just such a nice, like, gentle steam on my face. And the sweet potato is actually almost done. That's great. It's so funny. I know even though I like to talk about how much I love vegetables all the time, I still have the same sort of societal programming where, like, it's just a bunch of vegetables. How can it be that good? And then I taste it and I'm like, it's so good. Oh, it's really funny. I think that's something that's good for us, nutritionally speaking, sort of can't be so delicious. But it really is. Differently delicious, maybe, but still delicious. Really sincerely. I'm going to zest this lemon. Just kind of rolling it around. I love this. I'm not usually one to be like, you need this particular product in the kitchen, but honestly, a microplane, so nice. As a person who zests a lot of citrus, there's nothing better. It works so beautifully. It just holds all the citrus so nicely. And it's so beautifully sharp and just stays sharp. Really makes it a pleasure. And so I know there's a lot of other little things that do it, but there's like the ones that bartenders use where you kind of get a deeper cut, and it's just not always what you want. Right? You just want the very outside layer that is the sweetest and most flavorful, holds all the oil from the citrus right there without the pith, this white part that's much more bitter. Just all the good stuff, just so easily removed. Just appreciating this little device for a moment. I'm gonna add it in. Ooh, hot. Reminder, cast iron pans, hot at every point. And now I think you just wait until the cut this in half so I can juice it in a little bit. But I think we're just waiting now for the Farro to be done and this to be done. It's kind of that easy. So what do you guys think? I'd love to just do a little meditation. Just a few minutes. Just get comfortable wherever you are. And close your eyes. And just notice the rhythm of your breathing. The natural rhythm. You might notice the background sounds, the bubbling, the sizzling. Just let that kind of melt away. And just go inward. Noticing what is happening inside your body, starting at the toes and slowly lifting up into your ankles, calves, your knees, up through your thighs, into your hips, and through your torso, front, your stomach and your back, your low back, your spine, your ribs, into your chest and your upper back, shoulders, and trickling down your arms to your wrists, hands and fingers, and up through your collarbones, to your neck, chin, releasing any tension held in your jaw, releasing anything as you go along. Up into your face, up past your eyebrows, forehead, and the scalp and the crown of your head. Your body. There it is, breathing pulsing. And I'm just going to bring your attention back into the room because I think there's going to be a beeping sound very soon. I don't want to frighten this. And just gently flutter your eyes open whenever you're ready. Oh, there it is. Good thing we did that before. Let's check on our Farro. How wonderful is it that we can have a genuinely relaxing meditation in just a couple minutes? I think that's pretty amazing. Oh, it's good. Ooh, it's really good. I'm happy with that. Okay. And although the recipe in my book serves it, if you have your Farro and then you have the topping, I'm gonna go wild. I'm gonna mix these two together. Just get all the flavors mingling. There's a little residual water here. Woo! It's loud. Yeah, this looks great. Okay, I'm gonna try some, just make sure everything's cooked. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, so funny. Clink, clink, clink. I think truly that my just general feelings of sadness today were really making me feel just very like, it's okay. This will be an okay dish, whatever. And then what's fun is it's really yummy, actually. It's better than I was expecting, or than I was remembering. And that's such a nice surprise. Such a welcome surprise. Of course, it could have not been. Could have been. There are times when, I don't know if you feel this, but when you're sad, food just doesn't taste good. Food holds no appeal. I think maybe that's the surprise too, is like I wasn't feeling very hungry or very interested in food. It's kind of sad. And then somehow through this process of just being here. Oh, and look at all this beautiful steam. Just being here, really being with the ingredients, like taking the time to talk and to do this in this meditative way, I was able to actually connect with the part of me that is able to experience pleasure, the pleasure of food, the flavor, the smells, all of that we see as like the excitement and delight of eating. It's still here. It's still here even when I'm not feeling so great. Can all be there. And I think I've definitely had many times where I wouldn't have been able to notice that. So I'm feeling very grateful, actually. I'm going to add a little bit more lemon. And like I said, the goat cheese would be so good. It is so good in this. And please do add it if you are called to do that. But it's so good. Oof, it's going to be way too hot. I'm going to burn my palate for sure. It's really, really nice. So this is a wonderful meal, and I'll just say that if you do want to keep them separate, I think that would be a great choice too. Be super easy and nice to keep it. This will last for a few days. Be a beautiful take to the office lunch type situation. Very easy to reheat. So simple. Yeah, I hope you'll make this. Give this one a chance. It's better than you think it'll be. And the process, as always, is lovely. And I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I do feel a little bit better myself. So thank you so much. And please let me know any questions you have, or if you have any requests of something to make or something for me to talk about, something you experience, anything that you're experiencing either during these classes or around cooking or food or anything like that. Please bring them to me, and I'd be so thrilled to talk about them in a future class. Okay, thank you. Good night.